First thing, we have to connect one Ethernet cable from my computer to CAN converter by disconnecting it and connecting directly to my laptop. We know that the IP for default IP for the CAN converter is 192.168.110. I have to bring my laptop to the same network. Therefore, I'm putting in 192.168.1 and 100. So in this case, I'm sure that I will be in the same network as the CAN converter, 168.110. It's gonna pull up the initial firmware on the CAN converter. The default username and password is admin, lowercase, you enter. You have to be patient, it takes time, it's very slow communication. Once it entered and you to the platform, the first step is just changing the IP address of the CAN converter. So by going to LAN, you see that the default is 110. In our network right now in this commissioning is 192.168.0 and the rest of the numbers. In here, I know that the 36 is my number that I want to set and confirm it. So it changed the IP address after processing configuration. Therefore, because we are not in the same network, it's gonna say it's not reachable. I have to do again, change the IP address of my computer to put on the 192.168.0, which is the same network IP that the CAN right now has. Then I go back to the same page and refresh it. Now it should pull up because my computer and the CAN converter are in the same network. But I have to log in again with admin to change other configuration so GEMS can communicate with CAN once it is installed. So the first step is to go define the device user management mode, which by default is normal, and we put in expert mode. Remember that every time that you log in, you have to change this if you want to change the configuration. So it's a slow process, but we have to wait for it. Now that we are in expert mode, we go to network and in CAN link, we have two channels. We have to deactivate channel number 2 because we are by default using channel 1. Again, we have to wait until the process is done. Once it is done and we are sure that the LAN setting also is correct, which is correct, which is the IP address on the CAN converter, which is 36, then we have to define two routes that GEMS can communicate with BBMS, and BBMS can send back the packages from another route. So we have to have two routes. So as you can see, I went to manage routes, and the first step is basically I'm going to edit this default CAN to IP route, CAN to IP route. I have to check both to activate and do the handshaking, and it's using the channel 1. The IP address of our controller is 081 for now for this site, and the port number, because we are communicating from CAN to IP, should be incremental, which is 16, and it should be UDP, and we don't touch anything else, and we save setting. After this, I have to add another route which is the local IP, and the type is IP to CAN. Again, the direction, as you can see, is from IP to CAN. I have to activate it and do the handshaking. The port number is by default 50,000, and the type of data should be UDP. I should add this route. Once we define both of them, these are blue, this should be status is blue, and everything is done. So we should come back to the hardware and disconnect our connection and put it back the regular system connection with Ethernet. Thanks.